Imagine this. You're walking through the walled city of Cartagena. Bougainvillea is spilling down balconies like it forgot to mind its manners. Salsa music leaks out of every courtyard, and even the pigeons look like they've got a rhythm section. The air is hot, humid, heavy, but the city doesn't apologize. It just says, take me or leave me.
And you can't help but take it, because Cartagena doesn't care if you fit in. It dares you to stand out. Those stone walls, they've seen pirates, plagues, and parades, and still they hold. They remind you, individuality isn't about being loud, it's about being real.
That's our metaphor for today, heroes. Cartagena's stone walls and vibrant streets are a living lesson in individuality. You don't walk through that city trying to blend in. You walk through it realizing you've got your own song to play.
Welcome to the Latitude Adjustment, where stories meet strategy and courage gets practical. Each week, hosts Erica and Rusty Harrison turn island adventures and real-life messiness into mindset tools you can actually use. Expect laughter, straight talk, and an aging hero's challenge to move you 1 degree toward a life you love. Grab your compass, a cold drink, and your sun hat. We're casting off.
Welcome back, heroes. You know, day 25 of A Guide for Aging Heroes kicks it off with Oscar Wilde.
Kick it off.
Here's his quote. Most people are other people. Their thoughts are someone else's opinions. Their lives, a mimicry. Their passions, a quotation. Woo! That one stings a little, doesn't it?
It does. Because I think most of us actually start out there. We spend so much of our lives chasing cool. But here's the secret. Cool isn't universal. Cool is whatever lights you up. If dumpster diving is your jam, cool. If upcycling sweaters, that's your thing, cool. If it's salsa dancing barefoot in Cartagena, double cool.
But conformity, going along just because you're scared of rejection, that's the uncool of all uncools.
You got it.
Rollo May said it straight. The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity.
Ooh, give us that one more time.
Yeah, Rollo May, the great existential psychologist.
Yeah.
The opposite of courage in our society is not cowardice, it's conformity.
That one really hits home because I spent years as a fashion model being told to shrink myself into whatever box someone else wanted. You know, my skin, too light, too dark. My body, too thin, too heavy. My walk was perfect one day. My nose, wrong the next. You know, fashion is conformity. Style, however, style is individuality. It's how you say, this is me.
Right on. Where I grew up on the Sea Islands of South Carolina, individuality wasn't exactly encouraged.
Ooh, tell us more about that.
Well, if you were a boy, you wanted to be a real man.
Oh.
And real men had a uniform.
Okay.
Short hair, khaki pants, knit shirt, and boat shoes if you wanted to look nice. Otherwise, you wore a trucker cap, jeans, and boots. If you broke the code, that meant you weren't manly. Which is ironic because what's manlier than courage? And we were cowards, too scared to wear what we wanted.
I love trucker caps, but I just can't even picture you in a trucker cap.
That's because I burnt my trucker cap in effigy when I turned 40.
Hey, individuality looks much better on you, babe.
Thank you, baby.
Back in Cartagena, when we climbed Castillo de San Felipe, that massive fortress above the city, I realized individuality can be like those stone walls, built strong, carved out of history, still standing no matter how many storms hit. That's what being an individual feels like. You stop bending in the winds of other people's opinions.
And then there's Getsemaní, that bohemian neighborhood. Murals exploding.
Yeah.
Lanterns dangling. Kids kicking soccer balls barefoot while abuelas sling arepas.
Yeah.
Nobody there's trying to match. Everyone's their own kind of vibrant.
And that's the invitation of individuality, to show up as a mural, not wallpaper.
Right on. But let's be real. Becoming an individual isn't automatic. As teens, we start by copying our parents, then we rebel by copying our friends. Go to any high school and you'll see it.
Mm-hmm.
Rebellion in uniform.
Identity formation, it's messy. It's questioning what you've been told and trying on new values, keeping what fits and tossing what doesn't. Alan Watts said it beautifully. When a man no longer confuses himself with the definition of himself that others have given him, he is at once universal and unique.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But not everyone makes it through that stage. A lot of people get stuck in what's called identity foreclosure. They never question those values. They never claim their own. They grow up to be adults still playing high school's conformity game. If your religion, politics, and clothing are the same as the folks you grew up with, you might have a foreclosed identity.
And it shows. You see it in the obsession that people have with stuff. You know, the right clothes, the right car, the right house. That's not style. That's fear. And it can be exhausting.
Cartagena taught me this too. Individuality takes courage.
You got it.
Those stone walls weren't built to please. They were built to protect and to stand firm. Your individuality does exactly the same thing.
And style, real style, is your mural on the wall. It doesn't ask for permission. It just shows up. Yves Saint Laurent said, "Fashion fades, style is eternal." I love that.
So the question for our aging heroes is this. Are you still living like a high schooler in grown-up clothes, or have you built your own stone walls and painted them with your own colors?
Let's recap segment 1.
All right.
So far today, we've strolled through Cartagena's walls and streets, but what we were really exploring was individuality. We named the difference between fashion and style, between conformity and courage.
We told the truth about our past. Me, too scared to ditch the trucker caps. You, too pressured to fit into boxes that were never yours. And then we held up Cartagena as our mirror. Bold, messy, defiant, and beautiful.
Because individuality isn't about standing out just to stand out. It's about standing true.
And that's where the aging hero begins. Not in mimicry, but in authenticity.
Coming up in segment 2, we'll get practical. How do you actually practice individuality in a world that keeps nudging you towards conformity?
We've got tools, an aging heroes challenge, and maybe a few questionable fashion confessions waiting for you. All right, heroes, we left you at the gates of Cartagena last segment, standing between centuries-old stone walls and streets that refuse to conform to a single rhythm. We talked about the difference between fashion and style, conformity and courage. Now it's time to bring that down from the mural and into your daily life.
Because individuality isn't just a postcard you admire, it's a practice. It's how you decorate your stone walls, how you tell the world, this is me, baby. Take it or leave it.
And let's be honest.
Keep it real.
Some folks will leave it.
That's the truth.
But the ones who stay, they'll be your tribe.
When we wandered through Getsemaní, Cartagena's bohemian soul, it hit me. Individuality is layered like those stone walls. First, the foundation, the stone, strong, unapologetic. That's your identity, who you are when no one's watching.
And then the murals, splashes of color, unexpected lines, fierce statements that make you pause. That's your style, how you choose to show your identity to the world.
Without the stone, the paint flakes. Without the paint, the stone feels cold. You need both strength inside and expression outside.
Tool number 1, identify your non-negotiables.
Let's get into it.
Figure out your non-negotiables, the stuff that makes you, you. For me, it's creativity, honesty, and my moral code. I can bend on a lot, but if I can't write, play music, look out for the underrepresented, or speak truth, I shrivel up.
Mine are visual, aesthetics, and service. I feel a need to create, to bring elegance to the ordinary, and I need to serve where it's rooted in purpose, whether that's through photography, community, or just making a space more welcoming. That's going to be my bedrock.
So heroes, take a moment. What's your stone? What are the values or passions that, if removed, would leave you hollow?
Tool number 2, embrace style, not fashion. This is where Cartagena taught me again, style is eternal, fashion fades. When I was modeling, I got lost in other people's visions. I had to look Latina enough, or Caucasian enough, or exotic enough for whatever the market was at the time. And none of it was for me.
Yeah, and it crushed your spirit.
It did, because fashion, it's about pleasing. Style, now that's about expressing. When I finally started dressing for me, mixing patterns, choosing colors that matched my mood, snapping photos that told the truth instead of the gloss, I felt alive again.
So style isn't what's on the magazine cover. It's what feels like home on your skin.
You got it.
Okay, tool number 3, challenge the conformity reflex. Here's a funny thing. Even when we're grown, we still carry high school reflexes. We look at what our neighbors drive, what our friends wear, where our coworkers vacation, and we think, should I match?
Rusty, you still flinch when someone tells you khakis are classic.
That's trauma, baby.
Oh, little polo pony on your breast pocket, right? But seriously, when you catch yourself copying out of fear, then pause. Ask, do I actually like this? Or am I scared not to?
That's the Cartagena test. If the walls had copied Spain perfectly, the city would be lifeless. Instead, they let the Caribbean air redesign them. And now they sing.
Tool number 4, accept the judgments. All right, heroes, here's the hard truth. You will be judged. People make snap judgments. They do it all the time. So when Rusty looks like a biker, he gets treated one way. When he looks like a professor, another. Same man, different reactions.
But the aging hero's response? So what?
Exactly. So what if people don't get it? So what? Your individuality isn't for their comfort. It's for your alignment, for your self-expression.
Tool number 5, practice identity stretching. Here's a fun exercise. Try something that stretches your individuality a little. A style, hobby, habit. Not to impress, not to conform, but to experiment.
Like the book suggests, express yourself in a way you never have before. Try on a bold scarf. Sign up for that salsa class. Cook a dish from a culture that intrigues you. And then write about how it felt.
For me, it was ditching the real man attire I grew up with. For Erica, it's wearing her mood through style.
You know that's right.
For you heroes, it might be something else.
All right, it's that time. Your Aging Heroes Challenge this week is what we call the stone wall expression. Here's what you do. Number 1, pick one way to express your individuality, something you've held back on because of conformity. Number 2, make it small but real. Wear the thing, try the hobby, speak the truth, share the art. Number 3, then take a minute to write down, how did it make you feel? Did it free you? Maybe did it scare you? Did it energize you?
The point isn't to shock your neighbors.
It's not.
It's to honor your own walls.
And trust me, you'll feel Cartagena whispering back, bienvenido, welcome home.
Nice. Okay, let's do a segment to recap.
Let's do it.
Today we built some walls. Not the kind that shut people out, the kind that anchor your identity. We painted them with style, not with fashion. We reminded ourselves that judgments will come, but courage trumps conformity.
And then we dared you to try it. The Stonewall expression, a single act of individuality written into your story this week.
Because being an individual isn't about shouting, it's about showing up as yourself.
Coming up in segment 3, we're going deeper. How do you live individuality, not just in what you wear, but in your relationships, your work, your community?
Spoiler, it's less about standing alone and more about standing true. All right, heroes. So far, we've built our stone walls and painted them with our own style. But individuality doesn't live in a vacuum. It doesn't mean standing on the balcony yelling, "Look at me," while everyone else is trying to eat their arepas in peace.
Though, let's be honest, Rusty would totally do that if someone handed him a guitar.
I'm guilty. But here's the point. Individuality really comes alive in the village, in relationships, in work, in the community square, where your walls touch other walls and your murals become part of a bigger picture.
Remember Getsemaní, the Cartagena neighborhood we wandered through?
Yeah, it was beautiful.
Murals everywhere, right? Kids playing barefoot soccer, lanterns strung across alleys like stars that forgot the sky. Every wall was different, wildly different. But together, the streets felt alive.
That's individuality in community. Nobody diluted their mural to match the one next door, but the variety made it magic.
Was different, wildly different. But together, the streets had soul and felt alive.
That's individuality in community. Nobody diluted their mural to match the one next door, but the variety made it magic.
That's what relationships should be too. Not carbon copies, not conformity packs, a dance of differences that somehow make music.
Let's start at home. Individuality in relationships is tricky. On one hand, you want to connect. On the other hand, you need to hold on to yourself.
Exactly. I've seen couples lose themselves trying to blend into each other. Suddenly, they don't know who they are outside of the relationship. That's not intimacy. That's codependency in flip-flops.
And on the other hand, you've got folks who guard their individuality like it's Fort Knox. No sharing, no compromise, no vulnerability.
Right.
That's not intimacy either. That's loneliness with good branding.
Healthy connection is like those murals, different, but side by side. Your individuality adds color to the relationship, and theirs adds to yours. So together, you create a mural no one else could paint.
Okay, so take us.
All right.
You bring style, creativity, and service.
Mm-hmm.
And me, I bring reflection, coaching, and, questionable karaoke.
Oh, and somehow it works beautifully. Now, let's talk about work. Individuality there is tougher because most jobs want conformity. They want schedules, uniforms, policies, sometimes even jargon.
Oh, the jargon.
Oh, the jargon.
If I hear "let's circle back" one more time, I might actually sail away.
But here's the truth. You can still bring individuality into work without breaking HR. Maybe it's how you solve problems. Maybe it's the humor you bring to meetings. Maybe it's how you design your desk or how you show up with empathy.
When I taught psychology, I realized that my individuality was storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't the PowerPoint professor. I was the, let me tell you about the time I almost got thrown out of the movie theater professor.
That's you. And that's why your students still stop you years later and say, Professor Harrison, you changed my life. Because they didn't just get information, they got you.
Heroes, ask yourself, what part of you do you bring to work that no one else could copy? That's your mural. Don't cover it up with corporate wallpaper.
Community. Community is where individuality gets real fun. Because let's face it, if everyone looked, dressed, and believed the same, the village square would be as boring as a blank wall.
Or worse, like a high school reunion where everyone's still bragging about the same touchdown.
Exactly. Community thrives on individuality. Think about Cartagena's Plaza de Bolivar. Lovers, tourists, kids, pigeons, all doing their own thing in one space. That swirl is what makes it sacred.
So what's your role in your community? Are you the storyteller, the musician, the organizer, the one who brings food, the one who quietly shows up with a camera to capture it all?
Whatever it is, own it. Don't shrink it. The village needs your mural.
But here's a warning. If you never claimed your individuality, if you're stuck in identity foreclosure, you bring that into your relationships, your work, and the community too.
And then it shows up as bigotry, as authoritarianism, or keeping up with the Joneses. People who never found their individuality end up bulldozing others or living with regrets when it's too late.
Yeah, I think a lot of those folks have no idea about the damage they've done in life because they've never self-assessed.
Yeah.
They project everything outside of themselves rather than looking inward.
That's right. And that can be hard to hear. That can be some really tough self-reflection to participate in, but I think it's necessary.
Absolutely. That's why individuality isn't selfish.
Right.
It's service. When you own your identity, you stop trying to control others. You add color instead of demanding conformity.
The village doesn't need clones. It needs courage.
So how do you live individuality in the village? Here's a few ideas. Number 1, name your values in relationships. Don't disappear to keep the peace. Speak up, but also listen. Your partner's mural matters too. Number 2, bring your gifts to work, not recklessly, but authentically. Your humor, your empathy, your creativity, those are assets, not liabilities.
I love that one.
And number 3, claim your role in the community. Be the color only you can be, even if it's messy, even if it doesn't match.
And when you feel tempted to blend in, remember Cartagena. Those walls don't apologize. Those murals don't match. That plaza doesn't ask permission. And it works beautifully.
So let's do a segment 3 recap.
Gotcha. We walked into the village. We saw individuality not as isolation, but as contribution. We talked about relationships as murals, side by side, work as a stage for your gifts, and community as a plaza where everyone's differences swirl into something sacred.
We warned you about foreclosure, about what happens when individuality is left unclaimed. And we reminded ourselves, individuality isn't selfish, it's service, it's color.
Coming up in segment 4, we'll raise a toast to the courage of being yourself, to the joy of Cartagena's walls, and to the sacred fun of painting your own life in colors only you can bring.
And maybe we'll even debate which one of us could look cooler on a Cartagena mural. Spoiler alert, it's Erica.
Oh, stay with us, heroes. That toast, it's coming. All right, heroes. We've wandered through Cartagena, climbed stone walls, gotten paint on our hands, and probably annoyed a few neighbors by dancing off beat. And now it's time to lift our glasses to the courage of being yourself.
Here's to the stone walls that make us strong, to the murals that make us vibrant, and to the choice every single day to say, this is me. Take it or leave it.
Here's to those who stopped chasing fashion and started living style. To those who dared to question conformity and found their voice. To those who, like Cartagena, stand unashamed in their history and unafraid in their colors.
And here's to the late bloomers, the ones who didn't find it out in high school or college or even midlife, but who are still painting, still building, still brave enough to say it's not too late.
So if we quickly recap our segment 4, that's the last leg of our journey. And what did we do? We lifted a toast, not to perfection, not to popularity, but to authenticity, the messy, courageous, joyful act of being an individual.
We remembered that individuality is service. It feeds relationships, work, and community. And like Cartagena's walls, it holds steady, even when storms roll through.
Rusty, I think if you had your way, your Cartagena mural, it wouldn't be stone walls or salsa dancers at all. It would be you lined up with every single brand of Colombian rum.
Hey, that was cultural research. I was honoring the local economy.
Oh, Heroes, he turned it into a science experiment. This one has notes of caramel. This one, smoother with ice. This one pairs well with more rum.
Hey, I was being thorough. An aging hero leaves no bottle unexamined.
That experiment was
counterproductive. It's individuality, heroes. Sometimes it's expressed in style, sometimes in service, and sometimes in sampling every rum on the Caribbean coast.
And bragging about it afterwards. That is the real mural. All right, friends, let's bring this episode all the way back home. It started with Cartagena's kaleidoscope of color and stone. We set the stage with the city's walls and a street as a metaphor for individuality.
In segment 1, we named the difference between fashion and style, conformity and courage. We told the truth about our own past. Me, too scared to ditch the trucker cap. You, pressured into modeling boxes that never fit.
Segment 2 gave us practical tools. We talked about identifying non-negotiables, practicing style instead of fashion, accepting judgments, and stretching into new expressions. And we gave our aging heroes challenge, the stone wall expression, a single act of individuality this week.
In segment 3, we brought individuality into the village, relationships as murals, side by side. Work as a place to bring your gifts, community as a plaza where differences swirl into sacred beauty.
And in this final segment, we toasted to individuality itself, to the walls, the murals, the courage, and even the ridiculous range of Caribbean rums that make us uniquely us.
That's the latitude adjustment. It's not about blending in. It's about standing true.
There you go. If this episode hit your heart, if it spoke to you, share it. Text a friend, tag us, and go follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Aging Heroes. You can also find our full tribe at www.agingheroes.com. Next time, we're flipping the script because individuality is vital, but so is collaboration.
That's right, heroes. Season 2, Episode 9 is called Collaborate.
We'll talk about the art of working together without losing yourself, how to join murals without painting over each other.
And we'll tell some stories about times when collaboration was magic, and sometimes when it felt like trying to salsa with 2 left feet.
So bring your individuality with you because next week we're learning how to let those colors blend without fading.
Until then, stay bold, stay bright, and if you must, stay stocked with a variety of Caribbean rums.
Heroes, we'll see you next time.
Free audio post-production by alphonic.com.